From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey everybody, I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder, CEO, and Chief Digital Strategist at Stunning Digital Marketing. Before I get on introducing today's guest, I wanted to take a moment. The last 3 weeks have been really hard on me and my family. As many of you listeners and viewers of this show know, my brother Gord passed away recently, unexpected at the age of 54. Just way too young. As a result, the last couple of weeks, the podcast has been hard to say the least to keep on a regular schedule, but starting this week, we should have 2 episodes out and back to our regular schedule next week. Thanks for all your patience, your time, your caring, your support. It means more than you realize. Today's guest is a regular SEO segment with Laine, Naida. And Warren's going to talk all about WordPress wins that could impact SEO. So please sit back, relax, enjoy the show. This episode is brought to you by All-in-One WP Migration, the most trusted WordPress migration plugin with over 60 million sites served. Whether you are switching hosts, changing domains, or moving to a new server, All-in-One WP Migration makes it one click. Try it for free at WordPress.org or visit servemass.com.
Hey there, it's me again this month. Thanks for the intro, Rob. Just back from a couple of weeks in beautiful USA. Met some amazing people, had some great times, and ate amazing food. Even managed to smuggle ranch in my suitcase. Well, it wasn't really smuggling, but certainly you get the feeling everyone's smuggling ranch out of the United States. But we're here not to talk about ranch. We're here to talk about the next best thing to ranch, and that is our WordPress website. And because my thing is SEO, I'm going to talk about that in connection with SEO. So, topic today is 3 quick wins that you can do to help your WordPress website right now, and at the same time, help your SEO. So, a lot of the conversation has been specifically for, when it comes to AI and things, and the difference between traditional SEO and GEO is that we've changed the mindset. So we're not looking to be ranked for keywords. We're looking to be found, which really is the alpha and omega of SEO. And probably one of the reasons that we have a website. You find us and then you come to the website, and there we're going to solve a problem for you, which is really the purpose of our website. Websites are a conversion machine. And so, people have found us, they come to the website, and hopefully we've answered their question and they convert as a customer. Now, most of you probably have a website, and probably most of you have a WordPress website or something similar. Like me, you probably spend a lot of time making sure the website is up to date. And the question is, what can you really do maybe over the summer, try to kick it up a notch and invest the time properly? So I think, one of the really great things about SEO, and I think especially like the modern SEO, let's call it modern SEO, is that, if you spend less time trying to get found by search bots, if you spend less time trying to rank for specific keywords, you're going to have more time to do other things. And one of those things you can do instead of, trying to attract search engines is you can make your website genuinely helpful. And I think that's really important. So, you find those things that you do better than anyone else, those problems that you solve, and you make sure that information is on the website. And that's definitely a benefit to any of the AI crawlers out there. Certainly of great benefit for off-page SEO like social media. People are going to be talking about it. And I think, if your website is helpful, if it's accessible, if it's fast, that goes a long way to closing that sale. I don't want to harp on about Core Web Vitals too much, but certainly in general, last time you went to a website and it really lagged, you're less likely to shop there than a website that is moving quickly. Now, for me, one of the things, that is important for me is the idea of hygiene marketing. So, that connects for me very well with sustainable SEO and sustainable websites, green websites. But specifically that we keep a very clean and very, easy to use pipeline. So that means someone finds us, they come to the website, and those, 3, 4, maybe 5 steps, hopefully 3 steps that they need to get from point A to point B are very quick. That content is evergreen. That, we don't have a lot of lag between I found the product I want and now I want to purchase the product. I think WordPress is very good for this. I mean, WordPress does aim to build, a robust, clean, and accessible foundation, which I think is really, really important. In general, WordPress frameworks are pretty light, generally accessible, and easily readable by search bots. So, you kind of got a pretty good, healthy environment to start with. I guess you don't want to mess it up. So you've got a good product, and but there's 3 things that we can genuinely do with our website, and that's what I want to talk about today. So the first thing, and I know I'm going to have a lot of backlash on here, but I'm really convinced, ditch the heavy page builders. This is a major performance win. Really look at the website. What does the page builder do for you that you can't do without it? Now, there are a lot of fast websites using Elementor, using, Divi and things. That's true. But there's also a lot of slow ones. And anytime that we've moved websites out of Elementor or any similar page builder, we've always had much faster websites. So just take a look. If you need that page builder, then use that page builder. But if you're using the page builder for, a funky block, or I don't know, whatever it is you're using it for, maybe rethink about it. Okay, just really be sure that your website enables the people, and not just your customers, but the people working on the website, to get what they want done as quickly as possible. So that would be the first thing. Take a look at your build, take a look at the blocks, take a look at the themes, take a look at the plugins, and are you using this and building with these tools because they give you the best solution, or because they're cool, or because whatever the reason is. Okay, the SEO connection, I think, is certainly will go a long way to helping your page load speed. Now, again, you can have perfect Core Web Vitals and not be on page 1. It's one aspect, but I think in general, speed wins. Okay, if you can do something faster than your competitor, this has got to be good. So we could start with a high load speed. I think this is really important. The second one, this is a little weird maybe, but for me, I'm going to just say, call it like double up on your sitemaps for the indexing win. And yes, I know Google can find your website without a sitemap. There's a lot of discussion about LLMS text. There's a lot of discussion about how many sitemaps do we need? Do we need special ones for categories, for products, for events, all of these sorts of things? But I think if we can, in a sensible way, maximize the crawl, I think that's probably better than not. Old school, and I'm old school, as you can see, I think it's at least important to have 2 sitemaps, one for the bots and one for the people. So that means, and WordPress comes with an XML sitemap, though I would say I'd rather have like a rank math, maybe SEO framework, maybe Yoast sitemap. This is really important for me because I can connect that to Bing Webmaster Tools. I can connect it to Google Search Console. So I'm able to have a little more background information about what's happening with my site. So I want that. And I also really want some sort of sitemap for guests. So people are using the site. And from there, whatever sitemap you need, whether it be product categories or whatever you need. But I think in general, XML sitemap, HTML sitemap, these two are really good. And that's something you can very easily do. You could use a plugin, but hey, you could also do it without a plugin and save a plugin. All right. So I think that really helps the indexing. Okay. So we have two things. We have a performance win with ditching the heavy page builders, and we've got an indexing win, just doubling up the chance of being found by those crawlers and making it a little more interesting and useful for our visitors. So those are the two things. The third thing, I think really, really important, and again, it might seem a little banal, but our media assets. Okay, I think we could do much better tagging these, and that is a great visibility win. Now, what I mean specifically, and I'm sort of an old Drupal person, so Drupal, I cannot put an image into content that doesn't have the alt tag. I can do that in WordPress still, oddly enough, but I can't do that in Drupal. And the alt tag is very useful. It's useful for us because we are describing the image. This helps us think about the image a little more. Two, it's very useful for search engines. And probably more important, if we talk about sustainable web and accessible web, is there for screen readers. So I think there's a very strong SEO connection there. So use natural descriptions for the images, for the videos, for whatever media you're putting up there, for the data files. I think what you're doing is you're opening up on one hand sort of a secondary traffic pipeline via the image search, but you're also helping screen readers. And probably every single one of us has images that have been on the website since we don't know when. So maybe it's also a good chance when we're putting the alt text in the alt tag that we take a look at the image. Is it maybe too large? Could we have a better format? So give us a chance maybe to clean it up. That'll speed things up as well. So I think, these three, they go together really, really well. They form a really nice loop. So we've got a faster website, cleaner code. Okay, this is certainly going to help reduce bounce rates. Okay, then we've got dual sitemaps. Okay, I think this then covers both bots and human visitors. And the third is our media asset tagging, which I think also gives the bots a little more context, helps screen readers, and opens us up for image search. So together, I think this is really, really important. We've addressed the crawl budget, if this is a thing. It focuses on something that we can control. And it really goes, if not a long way, it certainly is a step forward in the right direction when it comes to prioritizing accessibility as a ranking signal, which I am a great believer. So all in all, what we're trying to do is we're trying to focus away from ranking, from doing all the things that we think the search engines want. And we're placing more emphasis squarely on creating a clean WordPress website, lean WordPress website, and inherently more findable website. So those would be my three things that I would look at this summer. And probably the fourth thing, which I think is still really, really important, has not maybe too much to do with our website, but if you've done the three things, then my bonus fourth thing is to use social media more. Get into conversations. I can't stress this enough. I was extremely excited around Christmas time when I did 100,000 views on one of my posts. And 2 weeks ago, I did almost a million. So 937,000 views on one post. So in 1 week, I did as many views as I did all of last year. Why is this important, Warren? Well, it's off-page SEO, and if I'm getting 35, sometimes 40% of my visitors from social media, it's an important part. If 40% of my potential customers are not coming via search engines, that's a number that's important. And people are there, so you can get into conversation. And as everyone knows, you cannot sell anything until you are in a conversation. Now, the conversation could be storytelling through your marketing, but it's really good if you meet people, even if they're on social media, and ask questions. Ask about their experience with a plugin, with a theme, with a keyword. You never know when that contact is going to be useful to you. And so, yes, do it. Summertime, living is easy. Do those three things. Get out there and meet some people on social media. And we will see you, I guess, next month. You have a great day. Bye-bye.
Thanks again to our sponsor, All-in-One WP Migration by ServeMask. Export your entire WordPress site in one click, import it anywhere. No server access needed, no command line, works with every hosting provider. Free on WordPress.org or extension at servemask.com. A very special thank you to Warren for joining us on the SDM show this week. The SDM show is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much every day. My mother, Ann Cairns, who's still doing really well and is an inspiration. And of course, Tiz Maroney. And Tiz, I know I've said it, but thank you so much for all the inspiration you give me every day.